6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, assisted by Sanjaya and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The coronavirus death toll in Sri Lanka climbs to 118. The Minuwangoda-Palyagoda COVID-19 cluster exceeds 20,000. A 5-member committee appointed to probe the Mahara unrest. A cabinet meeting held via video technology for the first time. The Akkarepattu Police Division has been declared an isolated area until further notice. In foreign news, Brazil's Amazon deforestation surges to 12-year high. In sports, Colombo Kings will meet Dambulla Viking and Jaffna Stallions will meet Candy Tuskers today in an exciting encounter of the LPL. Sri Lanka's death toll from the novel coronavirus has risen to 118 as 2 more fell victim to the virus. One of the deceased patients is a 72-year-old male from the Galaha area. He had succumbed to diabetes, high blood pressure and COVID-19 related cardiac arrest upon admittance to the Peravenia Teaching Hospital on November 27th. An 81-year-old female from Atalugama passed away at her home on November 28th. The cause of death has been determined as aggravated high blood pressure, diabetes and increased amounts of cholesterol in the blood due to COVID-19 infection. Sri Lanka has reported a total of 23,802 COVID-19 cases so far. The Department of Government Information says that another 318 individuals have tested positive for the novel coronavirus in the country yesterday. All new cases are close contacts of previously identified positive patients from the Palyagoda cluster. A total of 496 new cases of COVID-19 have been identified so far yesterday. This brings the total number of cases reported from the Minuwangoda-Palyagoda COVID-19 cluster to 20,448. As per epidemiology unit data, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 23,802. Recoveries from the virus meanwhile climbed to 17,560 earlier yesterday as 558 more patients regained health. However, 6,304 active cases are still under medical care at select hospitals and treatment centres located across the island. The Minister of Justice, Ali Sabri, has appointed a 5-member committee to probe the unrest that broke out at the Mahara prison. The committee is tasked with compiling an investigative report. The committee will be chaired by retired High Court Judge Kusala Sarojini Veeravardhana. The committee is due to look into the reasons behind the unrest, while recommendations pertaining to preventing such incidents in the future is also due to be submitted. The Justice Minister said the committee is expected to submit an interim report in a week and a report containing the recommendations of short and long-term measures within a month. The committee comprises of President's Counsel, Attorney U.R. De Silva, Additional Secretary of the Justice Ministry, Rohana Hapugaswatta, DIG Ajit Rohana, and former Prisons Commissioner Gamini Jayasinghe. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus Ladies Only, protecting you who drives our nation forward.
The weekly meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers was conducted through video technology yesterday. This is the first time in Sri Lanka's history a cabinet meeting was held via video, the President's Media Division stated. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also actively participated in the cabinet meeting through video conference technology. Following the detection of 40 COVID-19 positive cases so far, the Akkarepattu Police Division has been declared an isolated area until further notice. since the 26th of November. Meanwhile, the results of another 141 PCR tests are yet to be released. The security in the area has been further strengthened to prevent the spread of the disease. All schools in the Akkarepathu police area remain closed since Thursday. Meanwhile, the mayor of Akkarepathu, Athoullah Ahmed Zaki, and the medical officer of Akkarepathu, Dr. Farouza Nafkar, jointly appealed to the public to follow the guidelines of the health department. They request the residents not to come out of the houses unnecessarily. Minister Pavitra Vanniarachchi says that the government has a clear plan and a mechanism to save the country from the coronavirus. She said that it has been praised even by the World Health Organization. The Health Minister was giving a reply speech in Parliament on the expenditure account of her ministry. State Minister Sisira Jayakodi says that an Indigenous Medical Council will be formed to popularize the Indigenous medical system. He was taking part in the committee stage budget debate in Parliament yesterday. The Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Pires, says that the dates of the GCE O-level examination will be announced soon. During a media briefing yesterday, he said that the well-being of the children was considered as the decisive factor when reopening schools. The minister said that it was decided not to reopen schools in the Western Province considering the present situation. The minister said that the Ministry of Education will not take the final decision on the reopening of schools island-wide. He said that the responsibility of taking the final decision of reopening schools has been given to the committee headed by the principals. He further said that principals can decide on reopening schools according to the advice of the health officials in their respective areas. He added that those activities will be done under the supervision of provincial directors of education. The second report of the government's Finance Committee meeting regarding the budget proposals will be presented in Parliament tomorrow. It should be noted that all the members of the committee have agreed on the factors mentioned in this report. The report clarifies whether the budget proposals go in line with the government development policies. The government's Finance Committee, headed by parliamentarian Anura Priyadarshana Yapa, met yesterday to discuss the final report. The other members of the committee are State Minister Susil Premajant and Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva, Dilan Pereira and Isuru Dodangoda. The SLBC, which organizes the Ratana Sutra Pirit chanting series of programs island-wide Buddhist temples and viharas, will organize today's event at the Ratnapura Kuruvita Shri Abhinavarama Vihara. The chanting will be held from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The SLBC will air this chanting program live through the Sinhala commercial service, the City FM and island-wide regional services.
Every morning, my drive is not just to work. I'm driving my nation's progress.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus Ladies Only. An exclusive motor insurance designed for you. Up to 75,000 rupees worth instant claim settlements within 3 working hours. Call and move facility. 24/7 roadside assistance. And accommodation cost reimbursements at an accident. Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus Ladies Only. Protecting you who drives our nation forward.
Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The former Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa has been acquitted from the Divinaguma case by the Colombo High Court. 3 others also were acquitted from the case. The order was issued by Colombo High Court Judge Ratnapriya Gurusinghe. The judge released Basil Rajapaksa and 3 others after determining that the group did not commit criminal misappropriation of public funds by distributing funds among Divi Naguma recipients. The case was filed against Basil Rajapaksa and former Director General of the Divi Naguma Department Kitsiri Ranawaka over alleged financial misappropriation reported at the Divi Naguma Department during the tenure of the previous government. The group was charged for alleged misappropriation of 2.9 billion rupees belonging to the Divi Naguma Department for the 2015 presidential election propaganda activities.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the commuters and long-distance passengers complain that they do not get enough and sufficient public transport services after 7 p.m. in the main cities including Colombo. As a result, the commuters, especially long-distance passengers, face immense difficulties. Sometimes they have to wait for long hours to catch a bus. This is for the attention of the Western Province Passenger Transport Authority. In world news headlines, Brazil's Amazon deforestation surges to 12-year high. Saudi Arabia agrees to allow Israeli commercial planes to cross its airspace, senior Trump official says. Canada plans digital tax in 2022 on global tech giants such as Facebook and Google. Deforestation of the Amazon rainforest in Brazil has surged to its highest level since 2008, the country's space agency reports. A total of 11,088 square kilometers of rainforest were destroyed from August 2019 to July 2020. This is a 9.5% increase from the previous year. The Amazon is a vital carbon store that slows down the pace of global warming. Scientists say it has suffered losses at an accelerated rate since Jair Bolsonaro took office in January 2019. The Brazilian president has encouraged agriculture and mining activities in the world's largest rainforest. Saudi Arabia agreed yesterday to let Israeli airliners cross its airspace to the United Arab Emirates after talks between Saudi officials and White House senior advisor Jared Kushner, a senior Trump administration official said. Kushner and Middle East envoys Avi Bekowitz and Brian Hook raised the issue shortly after they arrived in Saudi Arabia for talks. The agreement was hammered out just hours before Israel's first commercial flight to the UAE was planned on Tuesday morning. The Israel flight was at risk of being cancelled with no overflight agreement. Canada plans to impose a tax on corporations providing digital services from 2022 that will stay in place until major nations come up with a coordinated approach on taxation, the Finance Department said yesterday. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development is working on a common approach to ensure digital behemoths such as Alphabet Inc.'s Google and Facebook Incorporation pay their share of taxes as the coronavirus hammers budgets. Canada said it was concerned about a delay in reaching agreement. The threat of digital services taxes has prompted threats of trade retaliation from outgoing US President Donald Trump's administration. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Brazil's Amazon deforestation surges to 12-year high. Saudi Arabia agrees to allow Israeli commercial planes to cross its airspace, senior Trump official. Canada plans digital tax in 2022 on global tech giants such as Facebook and Google. That was world news. And now in development news. The Urban Development Authority launched a project to restore the Galle Fort Post Office yesterday. The building, which is labelled as a site of archaeological importance, collapsed on October 25th after being around for nearly 300 years since it was erected during the Dutch rule. The building was used as the then governor's residence and subsequently during British rule it has been used as the official residence of the commandant. It was turned into a post office later on. In 1974, the building was declared a historical monument of which preservation and proper maintenance was mistreated for long. On completion of the renovation, a section of the building will be reserved for the Galle Fort Post Office, while the other sections will be used as a tourist hotel with accommodation, meals and social amenities. That was development news, and now in sports news, skipper Tisera Pereira hit a career best 97 not out to help the Jaffna Stallions beat the Dambulla Viking by 66 runs in their Lanka Premier League T20 cricket tournament played at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Stadium in Hambantota yesterday. The 31-year-old dashing left-hander was in tremendous form as he collected his runs from just 44 deliveries, inclusive of 7 sixes and 8 boundaries. As a result, the Stallions piled up a massive 218 for 7 from their 20 overs after they were put into bat. In reply, Viking never looked like making a match out of it and lost wickets at regular intervals while batting under tremendous pressure as they folded up for a modest 152 in the last over. In fact, the Stallions captured 4 vital wickets during the first power play of the innings and ensured that there would be no contest at the end. Meanwhile, 2 matches of the LPL will be played today at the Hambantota Suryavava Mahinda Rajapaksa International Cricket Grounds. Colombo Kings will meet Dambulla Viking and Jaffna Stallions will meet Kandy Tuskers. That was sports news, and now in business news, the 5G consumer market could be worth $31 trillion by 2030 globally, according to the new Harnessing the Fiji Consumer Potential report from Ericsson Consumer Lab. The report estimates that communication service providers could earn $3.7 trillion, a figure that could increase further as new adjacent digital services opportunities arise. The head of Ericsson Sri Lanka, Vinod Samaravikrama, said, quote, "People spending more time at home during the pandemic has resulted in increased interest in investing in emerging 5G-enhanced digital services such as cloud gaming, immersive education or services that offer remote digital live event experiences. Service providers have an opportunity to capture a sizable share of consumer revenues, which will be transacted over 5G networks," unquote. That was business news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The Sri Lanka Economic Summit will be inaugurated today with the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The summit is themed Roadmap for Takeoff, Driving a People-Centric Economic Revival. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa will launch the second phase of the summit tomorrow and participate in the VVIP session focused on empowering takeoff, efficient government and progressive state enterprises. The inaugural session will feature addresses by keynote speaker, Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs of the Republic of India, Nirmala Sitharaman, and the guest of honour, State Minister of Money and Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reforms, Ajit Niwad Cabral.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department says the low-pressure area in the southeast Bay of Bengal is likely to intensify into a depression during the next 24 hours and is likely to intensify further. This system is likely to move nearly west-northwestwards to the north coast of Sri Lanka. It will affect the weather over the island and the surrounding sea areas during the next few days. Several spells of showers will occur at several places in the northern, north, central, eastern and Uva provinces. Thundershowers will occur in the western, central and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Gala and Mathur districts after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, are likely at some places. Fairly strong gusty winds 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected in the northern, north-central, eastern and northwestern provinces. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize the damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thunder showers. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The coronavirus death toll in Sri Lanka climbs to 118. The Minuwangoda-Paliagoda COVID-19 cluster exceeds 20,000. A 5-member committee appointed to probe the Mahara unrest. A cabinet meeting held via video technology for the first time. The Akkarepathu Police Division has been declared an isolated area until further notice. In foreign news, Brazil's Amazon deforestation surges to 12-year high. In sports news, Colombo Kings will meet Dambulla Viking and Jaffna Stallions will meet Kandy Tuskers today in an exciting encounter of the LP.